Hello everyone, this is Pastor Steve for our Monday Minute for September the 28th of 2020. It's hard to believe that we are in the last week of September already. We're a full week now, almost into the new season of fall, and we are again seeing the leaves changing. The weather, we understand, is going to be changing this week a little bit as well, and there'll be no doubt that we're in a new time. And we're doing the same thing here at Newburgh Church as well. So we want to invite you to join us on Tuesday, tomorrow night, at 7 p.m. on Facebook Live for our town hall meeting. We've been doing these on average now of about once a month. And this week in particular, we want you to tune in. We will be talking about the results of our congregational survey that we took back at the beginning of the month after our last town hall meeting. We'll be sharing the results of those with you, and also what are our plans going forward from October now through the rest of the calendar year of 2020. So please do make a point to join us tomorrow on Facebook Live as we talk about all of these things and much more as well. Also, the rummage sale setup is going on this entire week with our sale coming up on Friday and Saturday. Again, due to COVID, we are doing something new and something different. This will be an all-outdoor rummage sale, and we're in need of plenty of volunteers. So if you are able to do that, you can come by the church this week and help to set up, help with the sale on Friday and Saturday, also if you're available to do that, so that we can not only clear out a lot of the inventory that we have, but also do some great work in this community, as many people have come to rely on our rummage sale. And also, it's a great way to support our church here as well. So please do try to make that a priority this week. This coming Sunday, October the 4th, we are going to be celebrating World Communion Sunday. If you join us for the online service at 10 a.m., we want you to be prepared. We will be celebrating that through a love feast as we're not able to be together. But we do want you to join us at 5 p.m. on Sunday evening, where we will have a service of Holy Communion, and we will do so in a safe way. You do need to bring your own chair, and we will also provide you with an electronic bulletin so you can follow along with responses that we will have for you, as well as join in our time of worship and sharing in the sacrament together with all of our Christian sisters and brothers around the world. So please try to make those priorities as they are coming up in this week. Today, as I was trying to think about what to say here coming up with our Monday Minute, I realized that words were escaping me. And it was taking me a little bit to come up with anything. But what was interesting that when I finally admitted that I just don't have the words right now, suddenly they popped into my head. It's funny how God works that way. And what popped into my head was the story of Jesus, who is dealing with the woman who is caught in adultery in John chapter 8. And in the 8th chapter of John, we have this encounter where a woman who is caught in adultery, how she was caught in adultery, we don't know, but they bring her to Jesus, and they plan to put her on trial there. Now, mind you, this was not about the woman. This was about trying to find a way that they could trap Jesus into contradicting himself and to contradicting the law as it's revealed in Moses. And so they say to him, this woman was caught in adultery, and the law of Moses says that she is been to be stoned to death. What say you? Initially, Jesus didn't have anything to say. He simply looked down and wrote something with his finger on the ground. In this season right now, we're winding down towards a pivotal election in this country. And it seems like over the last decade or so, probably a little bit longer, but it seems to be coming to a head now, that our partisan identities have been brought to a fever pitch. And all of us are trying to justify our own belief system, whether it be it through claiming that we're the party of Jesus, or that we're the party that's on the side of democracy and you're not. A lot of it's a bunch of rhetoric. But the problem is when we repeat the rhetoric enough, it starts to become true in our lives. And then we start seeing others as the enemy. And all of us want to have a response that is just right there to be able to shut down that other person and justify that we're right or we're wrong. Now, sometimes we can get so flustered with them, that we struggle to find the words. And so we end up just repeating talking points without really understanding their meaning, or blithering back, or going into the political equivalent of, I know you are, but what am I? This is not the way that we should be having discourse in a democracy, but it's also not the way we should be having discourse as Christians. And we can fall into that trap too, about what we believe, about salvation, about the nature of Christ, about whose church is better than the other church. And really, they're not better. They're different. What we're all trying to do is to find ways where we can best exemplify what it means to live in the example of Christ. And I think the example that Jesus gives us here, when someone is brought forth and objectified in order to test him, Jesus' response initially is a response that we all could have. Just take time. You don't have to respond right away. But with poise and with discipline, and knowing that the right words will eventually come to us, we can take a moment to let it sink in as to what it is that someone is actually trying to ask and actually trying to get at. In this case, they're simply trying to test Jesus and trap him so that they could arrest him. This wasn't about the woman. This wasn't about the law of Moses. It was about their own motivations and political ends. So Jesus, for a period of time, remains silent and almost dismissive. But then finally he says to them, "Let anyone among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone." And then he kneels back down, and taking his finger, he just starts writing again. Sometimes we just need to take the time to think about what we want to say, how we want to say it, and remember what our overall point is here. So while we may have friends on both sides of the aisle, so to speak, in this upcoming election, and we may have friends who believe differently about what it means to follow Jesus, or if they should even follow Jesus at all, if we have folks of another religion. Today, as a matter of fact, is Yom Kippur, where our Jewish sisters and brothers spend the entire day in a time of atonement, a way to connect with God and to be silent and to listen. Perhaps we all could learn and continue to learn lessons from that. So as we go forward this week, let's not try to find words when there aren't any to be said. And when they come to us, let them be the right words that God is wanting us to say. We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow night at our town hall, and look forward to seeing you next Sunday as we celebrate Holy Communion together. God bless and have a great week.